I am here. I had some words flow into my mind. I did. And I just found myself talking at the screen. And if you've got the strength and the courage within to listen, then listen. But some people may not have the strength and the courage within to listen, because it does take courage and it does take strength in this particular instance. It does. And I hope you can hear me. I hope we're not echoing or anything like that. Yeah, I'll keep myself up here in the corner. I'll try to listen to what I had to say, because I didn't get to listen to it. Hello. I didn't. It's on a human level. It is. And my mother always told me, if you've got something to say, if you're given the words to say, Gina, say it. Say it. So I'm going to pull myself up, and I'm going to listen to myself too, because I'm going to hear what that silly look on my face has to say. That's right. Hello, everyone. Thank you and welcome. Yeah. I want to make sure we are okay in here. We got some moderators in here. If we need a moderator, I can play moderator to you all. We're going to speak my truth. It's not just my truth. It's like a universal truth. It really is. And this may not be what some people think it is, but I'm going to speak it and I'm going to play it, and I'm going to try to be silent. I'm going to mute myself because I want to hear what I got to say. You all, let me try to mute myself and push that button with that silly look on my face. I can do it. Yeah. I am speaking from my heart. I am. And I hope you can hear it. Really, I got to make sure you can hear it, Gina, before you push that button. Let me push the button. I'm going to try to be quiet. Okay, let's push the button. Push it. Have you ever had anyone look at you and automatically say, you know, you're weak, you're not strong, you won't stand up for the things that you should? Have you had anybody ever do that to you? If you have, ask yourself, is what they're saying true? Is that true of me, that I'm weak? No, it's not true. It's not true. You know what your strengths are on the inside of you. You do. And what others may consider as a weakness, that weakness is your strength. And that strength that you have within you could very well be that other person's weakness, more times than not. You see, because we're taught to be tough in this world. We really are. We're taught to stand up, speak up, do the right thing. Don't be wimpy. Don't be a mouse. Stand up. Let your voice be heard, no matter what. And if you think about it, strength means different things to different people. It really does. And when I look at others, you know, I can look at strength through, you know, different filters. I can look at someone who perhaps, you know, lifts weights, and they do these strongman things and stuff. They're like gladiators and things. They can do anything. They push their strength to the limit. All their bodily muscles, endurance, and everything, they just push it to the limit. You can say a soldier does that too. You can. I can look at strength through physical strength and endurance. I can. Or the person who like runs and 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 they never get wore out, it seems like. that's a form of strength. And I can look at strength through another filter. And I can look at strength through the person who can stand there in the face of someone who may be tearing them all to pieces with their mouth, and they're just standing there and they're taking it. And the person just keeps going and going and going, and they don't stop. It's literally like they've tore that person up with their mouth. They literally have killed them with their mouth. And that person just stands there and then just turns around and walks away and doesn't look back. To me, that's a lot of strength. That's a lot of courage to stand there and take that type of speaking down to me. It really is. And there are some people who, no, they won't. They will. They'll get back up in somebody's face is what they'll do. And they will they'll tell them how it is, and they'll probably get a little bit physical in the process, you all. That's like the other side. But to, when someone's angry, they're going to have some really bad words come out of their mouth when they're angry that you've really not heard from them before. But because they're angry, the words start flowing out. And you're sitting there and you're listening, and yeah, it hurts because they're hurting. They're hurting. And they're going to say some not so nice things. And you're standing there and you're thinking, how did I end up in this position right here? Well, how did I get so lucky to be the lucky one? When someone is really, really hurting, and out comes all kinds of things. And then you just sit there and you let them speak until they're done. And you know they needed to get it off their chest. You do, because they pent it up in them. And maybe they don't have nobody to talk to. Maybe they don't, you all, really. And it's hard. It's hard when you pin stuff up on the inside of you. You have no one to talk to. And when you finally find someone you can talk to, you feel safe enough to talk to, it just like comes right out. All that pent up frustration and everything comes right out. And the person standing there thinking, okay, all right. I'm not going to take it personal. You had something to say and you said it, and you needed to get it off your chest, because if you don't have someone to talk to, it's really hard in life. It is, because we all need someone to talk to. We need somebody physically around, or on the phone, or virtually. We do. It's not good to be alone. It's not. There are people who are loners in this life, but everybody needs somebody. They do. Everybody needs somebody. And it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It takes courage for people. It does. A lot of courage for someone who's used to being alone, to reach out, because the world's been so cruel to them and they don't want to reach out. They've had to do it their whole life, and no one's ever been there for them. No one's ever stood up for them. They haven't. No one's ever took the time to care about them. No one's ever took the time to love them. No one's ever took the time to listen to them. And if you've been through that your whole life since you were little, and you're going through it now, you know how much courage it's going to take, especially when you do things all by yourself and you don't want to have to ask nobody for nothing. If you can't do it yourself, you're not going to do it, but you're going to give it your best. If you've been like that and you're still like that, well, I'm kind of like that too, you all. I don't like to ask for help. I don't like to have to reach out to others. If I had a choice, I wouldn't, because, sometimes I think, well, that's kind of weak of me to do it. No. See, that's the thing. Gina, honey, listen to what you're saying. Okay, it is. I may view it humanly as a weakness. I may. But really, I'm going to have to muster up a whole lot of courage on the inside of me. A whole lot. Since I'm a very independent person, and you may be a very independent person yourself too. But there comes a point in all of our lives when we not only need someone by our side helping along the way, someone to be there to listen to, we want someone. And it's not wrong to want to have someone there. It's not a matter if I need them. Oh, no, but you want them too. You do. You want to have somebody. We all want friends. There may be some people say, I don't need no friends. I don't want no friends. I've got Jesus. Well, that's okay. But it's still nice to have a friend. It's still nice to want a friend. And it's really nice when some friend crosses your path in life. That's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling, and some people stay away from people because perhaps they've had a friend, or they thought they had a friend. They thought they had loved ones and family that cared about them, but then something happened, and it's a big wake-up call, and that's hurtful. It just adds to the trauma on the inside. It adds to it. A lot of us have been there, and we've done that. In one of those instances, you had somebody in your life you thought who would be there for you, support you, a certain somebody, and when it came right down to it, they weren't there. They were not there, and you really thought they would be, but they weren't. That's disappointing. That's very, very hurtful. And when that happens time and time again, you get to the point where you no longer even want to reach out. In fact, you close in, you go inward like that turtle hiding in its shell. You do. You put that shell all around you. You don't even want to stick your head out because you got your armor on, your shell. But there comes a time in all of our lives, we've been there. You look around and think, I really would. It'd be really nice to have a good friend. And when you get older, you realize that it's important because you're not getting any younger. You're not. And you realize it's good to have people to talk to. It's good to have people around who has something in common with you. It is, you all. And to be able to reach out when you're that person who does not want to reach out. You don't want to ask nobody for nothing. You don't even want people to know that you would really like to reach out. But it takes courage. It takes enormous courage on the inside to do it. It does. It's like a humbling moment in your life. And it's kind of like an embarrassing, it's a scary moment. I can speak for myself. It's so scary for me to reach out because I don't want rejected. I do not want rejected, you all. I know that you all can relate to this. I don't want rejected. Especially if I have equity. If I have equity in something or somebody has equity in me and I reach out, and nobody reaches back out to me. It's hurtful. So it does. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of faith. I've had to pray before many times just to even pick up the phone and call someone. I have, because I thought, they don't want to hear me. I don't want to bother them. I don't want to be a bother. I don't. I've had to do that. And my own insecurities would get in my way. They would. And they would hinder me so many times because I didn't want to get hurt. But I'm at that point now in my life, and you may be getting to that point now in your life too, and you may be a lot younger than me. You may even be a teenager, a young adult, you may be an older adult, that you know time is precious. Time is precious. And if you can look at it through, what's the worst they can do is ignore you. That's the worst they can do is ignore you or say, I'm busy. And they really may be busy. Really. But it does. It takes courage. It takes determination. It takes perseverance. And it's literally like it's taking a chisel and chiseling your way through the wall at times, little by little, or getting a great big jackhammer and busting through that wall because you're tired of the isolation. You're tired of that great big wall that you built around you for years and years and years and years and years. And now you need a jackhammer. And you're realizing the jackhammer ain't breaking through that wall that you built up. Now you need a great big wrecking ball to come in and knock that wall down because you ain't even got the strength to do it. And then you really got to pray. You really got to pray about it and meditate. And oh my gosh, you all. To me, when I think about strength, I'm more than likely, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to look at it from a spiritual point of view, from an emotional point of view, from a relationship point of view. I'm not going to look at physical strength and stuff like that, although it's good to have physical strength because you can do a whole lot more, the endurance and stuff like that. It takes courage to admit when you're wrong. It does. It takes a very courageous person to, say, I was wrong, because there's people who will never admit when they've done wrong. They will never admit when they are wrong. Or they said something wrong. They will never admit to it. Why? Because it's like, then they got to take a look at themselves, and they just don't want to say it because they want to keep up the persona of who they are. It takes courage to apologize. It takes a lot of courage, and you may have people in your life who never says they're sorry, will never apologize because they're an abrasive person, and maybe they got that way over time because that's how they were treated. And it doesn't feel good regardless when someone is a little bit abrasive. And abrasive means a little straightforward, a little too blunt, a little in your face. Especially if you're a timid person and you got feelings. Your feelings get hurt a little bit easier, even though you've had lots of times your feelings got hurt. You think your feelings would get built up over time. You get that thickened shell, but you don't. At times, in certain circumstances, because you let your guard down. You let your guard down on your heart. You opened up your door to your heart, and you walked out and you peeked out and you took a chance. You took a chance, and you got hurt. And you're thinking, I don't want to get hurt again. I can't stand the pain that comes with it. But then you take a chance, and then you look out that door, and you reach out, and someone reaches back, and then you don't get hurt. Then it's a different story. And then, you feel something totally different that you've never felt before. Really. Now, you don't want to continually reach out to the wrong people and get hurt time and time again. To me, that's red flag. No, you don't want to do that. You don't. Don't do that. Be very careful, you all. Don't put yourself in a situation like that. But it does. It takes courage. I'm talking about courage. I'm thinking about what strength means to me. And it means that to a lot of people is having the courage within to reach out when you're scared to death. You're scared to death. I get that way at times. I'm a grown woman. I'm 50, 23, 60, I'm going to be 57. I'm a grown woman, and I get really scared. I do. And I know I shouldn't, but it's that little girl in me. That little girl don't want hurt. So I got to pray. I got to pray at times because I don't want hurt. I don't. I want to reach out, but I'm scared. I am. You may be scared too. How can grown adults get that way, you all? How can we get that way? And with the world being the way it is, you got to be really careful. Real careful. So, when I think of strength, I think of the courage to reach out in your time of need, because God can put somebody in your life. Somebody can cross your path. They can be standing right there in your path, right there in your face, and you're thinking, how am I going to get around this person? But yet you, within your heart, within your subconscious, within your mind, you're wanting help, even though you're not physically speaking it, but your mind, your heart, it's wanting someone there. It doesn't want to be alone. Your heart doesn't want to be alone. Your mind doesn't want to be alone. You don't want to be alone, even though you haven't physically spoken it. But your spirit has thought about it. Your heart has felt it. It has. And you can have somebody literally right there on your path, right there. And you're thinking, no, I'm not. I didn't ask for no help, and I don't want your help. I don't want you in my life. Well, I'm sorry, the spiritual realm got a different signal from the frequency within your being. And the spiritual realm is higher than your human realm. It is, you all. Courage and strength. Gina, honey, why you gotten on here? Well, I just wrote a poem. A poem flowed into my mind, and I thought I'm going to do a story time with Gina, and it's not 8:30. But I sure hope and pray that since I pushed this button, I'm recording myself. I'm showing myself at 20 minutes and 10 seconds. And I hope I've got a voice in here, because if I don't, I ain't going to be too happy. Well, then I will have just been talking to myself, and I will just have heard myself speaking, and I'll be taking my own advice, and it was meant for me and me alone. But you all, really, in this world that we live in, it's hard. Things are getting rough. Times are getting hard. And we have people disappearing from our life. There's so many doors, so many relationship doors that are closing in upon us. They literally are closing in upon us. Those friends that we had, those family members that we had, that were a great part of our life, they're leaving. They're gone. They've exited our life path, our little path on this road called life. They've exited. And we find ourselves walking alone. And we don't want to walk alone, you all. We got all these people on this path. You're on this road called life, but it's a path. But you're on this road called life, and you're walking alone with all these other people who are finding themselves. We're walking alone on this road called life. And we feel alone. But if you look around like this, you're going to see somebody next to you. You're going to see me next to you. You're going to see that other person next to you. You're going to realize sooner or later, hopefully, we're not alone. We're all on this. We all found ourselves on this road thinking that, okay, we're walking alone, but we're not really alone, because there's a lot more people on here with us. And once you realize that, we're all in the same boat, more or less. We got thrown in the same boat where we need people in our life. We do. Because it's getting hard to walk this road by ourselves. And someone placed those people on your path. You know this. You do. I've had people placed on my path, a lot of people. You've had people placed on your path. Somehow I got on your path if you're watching this video and it's really getting to you. It's really resonating. I got put on your path. My path crossed your path for a reason. And your path has crossed my path for a reason. It didn't just do it just to do it, just for, oh, this is little, let's play a trick. No. It happened for a reason. It's a divine reason, okay? It's a divine reason at a specific moment in time. We have all found ourselves on this road. And we think we're walking alone, but we're not. And we think we got to go it alone because we've been walking alone for so long. But then we're thinking, well, it might get a little bit darker up ahead. It might. And we might need a shoulder to lean on. We might need somebody to hold our hand because we're a little scared. It's just a little bit of reassurance. We may not have the strength to walk. So a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. If there's more than one person, if there's a lot of us, maybe we can help each other along. You may be thinking that. Physically and spiritually speaking, you all. No, it takes strength. It takes strength to call out. It does. And it's a very humbling experience. It's a very scary experience because it's something some people have never done in their life, you all. And it's, oh my gosh, it would probably be the most difficult thing a person ever had to do, really, to admit, I want somebody in my life. I need somebody in my life. I need friends in my life. I need people who think the way that I think, people who see the world the way that I see it. You want your tribe. You want to find your tribe. And you're looking around and thinking you thought you had your tribe, but it wasn't. It wasn't it. I'm done, but it's strength, enormous strength and courage. And my mother always told me, Gina, if you're ever given something to say it and share it. If the words start flowing in, you're supposed to share it. It doesn't matter if it only touches one person, somebody, it's meant for somebody. And it would be wrong of you not to share the words that you're given. Because you never know. You never know. And I don't. And sometimes I don't know. Whatever I say or whatever I share, how it's going to impact somebody, I don't know. I don't. Sometimes I think, oh, I don't want to share that. I don't want to say what I said and share it because that's me thinking in the human realm. But in the spiritual realm, it's a whole different story. So it takes strength, enormous strength, the strength of a warrior to reach out when they have never reached out before. It takes enormous strength. I'm kind of weak in that area. I am. About reaching out. I think in my human form it's a weakness. And I don't want to appear weak. I got to be strong. But am I as strong as I humanly think I am? Don't know. Perhaps I could put on a good show. I could put on a really good show, but that's not me. That's not me. And that's not you. So I'm going to go. And thank you for listening to Story Time with Gina. And with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And remember, you're much stronger than you realize. You're so much stronger And there's things that some may consider a weakness that people do that take a whole lot of courage to do. And that courage is it's coming from the inside of you. It's an enormous strength that you've got. It is. Love you. If you're just tuning in, I had these words start flowing in my mind before the 8:30 time frame. And I turned the camera on and I just started speaking. And I recorded myself until the words were done. And I thought, well, this is going to be my story time tonight. But it's not a story. It's real. It's really real. The human experience, our life on this earth, even though you may not feel you belong to this earth, it's real. It is. And it's worth living. It's worth experiencing. It is, you will. So I'm going to go. Thank you so much for tuning in. And this is the other side of me. Sometimes I let it out. I let out the other side of me at times when I feel so inclined within my being. So I'm going to go, you. I really am. Thank you so much for listening. And it takes strength. If you got strength and you got courage, listen to the very beginning to the end, because it's what it takes to truly look inward and talk about these important feelings and things we deal with in our lives. So again, with that being said, hello wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and thank you all so much for listening. Love